Good morning and welcome to My Left Ear. It is Saturday, May 3rd, and this is my co-host, Petey Freeman. I'm Carrie Freeman, and we've got video 264 here. If you're new, please subscribe, please like. It helps us, as you know. You hear this from everybody. So it's just a little gentle reminder. My left ear is because I get a lot of information coming through my left ear. No joke, it really is true. So we're starting with a bunch of stuff. I have a lot of runes, but I've got some newsy things that I want to share. I watched a little bit of a televised cabinet meeting with the Felon. It was really, really like blood-curdling embarrassing. Oh my heavens. As you may know, at these cabinet meetings, everybody, all the cabinet members are required by Donald Trump to go around the room and praise him. And these people are willing to do it. And I think it started with Bambitious Bondi. That's what I call her now because she's so ambitious. Bambitious Bondi with I didn't write it down, but it was like, Mr. President, you have had the most amazing first 100 days that we have ever seen in the history of the presidency. And of course, you know, like, excuse me, I'm a little nauseous. But the thing why I'm bringing this up is that there was some woman there that started to talk about something that I don't even remember, but to Trump, it wasn't interesting. So he literally nodded off in the cabinet meeting on camera. He was like dozing again. Here's my point in mentioning this. Where was the media? This is the president of the United States who's supposed to be in charge, interested, and he was nodding off. And it wasn't the first time we've seen him nodding off. So I'm nodding off big time, like a dementia patient in a nursing home in the broad daylight at the Pope's funeral. So I don't have a solution. I just wonder where in the world is the media not. I'm just going to try to get Pete in here a little bit more. It's like big news because here's the thing. If Joe Biden, who did not fall asleep at the Pope's funeral, did the same thing, it would be front page everywhere. So, all right, that's my, the Mac is blowing up a lot. It was blowing up a lot when I was doing these notes. So that's that. Now, this has just grabbed me in the gonads, and I don't have gonads, but listen to this. And it's just more fascism. It may be brought up in the courts as he can't do this. I don't know yet. But this comes out of Oklahoma, which is a really red state. Here's the report. I think it's from the reporter named Legume, but I'm not sure. Next school year, thousands of high school students in Oklahoma will be required to learn about Trump's debunked claims that the 2020 election was tainted due to fraud. I'm not making this up. In addition, the lessons will not be part of conspiracy theories, but an official component of the new social studies curriculum. And all I can tell you is on Twitter, people were just going, oh my God, they were horrified, and I'm horrified, and we'll see where this goes. But this is fascism. And by the way, I think someone should get up and explain fascism. You know, they have these words that are bandied around, but what if someone isn't really clear? It would be good to come out and describe it, I think. Just my little opinion. Now, I'm going to pause for a minute because when I'm talking to you, I can't see orbs, but I can see myself when I'm talking to you. And I forgot to mention my cat hat that I got about a week ago. And it's kind of orangey, so this is why I dress this way. And the minute I got it, I started wearing it out because I thought it was fun. So many people stopped me and said, "I love your hat." So it brought out cat lovers, but it's reminiscent of Pete, right? And I got it on Temu, Temu or Timo. I don't know what to call it. It's from China. And I think it was less than $3. So they have a whole bunch of colors in this hat, and I'm going to buy a few more. But I just wanted to explain it. And I wore it because everybody loves PD, and I thought you'd get a kick out of it. I was shocked at how many people noticed it. Back to the work here. I had brought up last video about the use of the Alien Enemies Act to detain and deport immigrants. And, just said this is really far-fetched. We're not in war. This is what I talked about. You can check back if you want to. But a federal judge in Texas, of all places, Thursday, ruled that President Trump's use of the Alien Enemies Act, AEA, to detain and deport Venezuelan immigrants from South Texas was unlawful. Unlawful. Yay. U.S. District Judge Fernando Rodriguez Jr., a Trump appointee, wrote that Trump's invocation of the act exceeds the scope of the statute and is contrary to the plain, ordinary meaning of the statute's terms. Boom. Judge Rodriguez ruled that the administration cannot use the Alien Enemies Act to deport alleged members, Venezuelan members. It's a wartime authority, and we are not at war, which was my point. Like, why isn't anybody addressing this? Judge told Trump team it is banned, but here's the caveat. The ACLU is very involved here because this is not good in every state. So they got to go around and fight this in every state. But it's a beginning. And it's very interesting to me because of Judge Rodriguez. Now we're going to go to runes. This is just stuff, I just channel these questions, that feel interesting and relevant to me. And based on your responses, they seem to be relevant to you most of the time. I asked, will the economy hurt as badly as the media claims? Because if you've been listening, the projections are really scary. Hey, Pete. Good morning. It's good to see you. Thank you. So the rune said, I got the rune of strength in the reversed position. And it says, without ears to hear or eyes to see, you may fail to take advantage of the moment. Could be an opportunity missed or a weakening of your position. Your own strength may be used against you. This rune reverse serves to alert and offer clues in the form of minor failures. It doesn't say major failures, minor failures. And for those who are deeply unconscious, it may be a jolt. Like, whoa, what happened? Toilet paper is $90. This rune calls for serious thought and introspection, but it does say, take heart, as there is a constant cycling of death and rebirth. And this tariff thing will come and it will go. That's me saying that, not the runes. So do not draw back from this passage. When in deep water, become a diver. So then I got defense, which stands for avertive powers. And this is about the tariffs. How bad is it going to be? Is the media calling it correctly? As we are tested, we fund the power to avert blockage and defeat. So defense tells us that even if there appears to be an obstacle in our path, consider that even a delay may prove beneficial. And here's where my thought comes in, that a delay may prove beneficial. As we see Trump fail and let people down in their homes, their daily lives, their groceries, their whatever, this works against Trump, which works for the Democrats. And that's my thought. But it says be patient. It does speak to the difficulties that can arise at the beginning of new life. So that's positive, the beginning of new life. And it may offer a time of waiting. I know you don't want to hear that, but we're waiting for the spring to fill up. It's going to make him look awful and responsible. It's something that he can't blame on Joe Biden, because he's blaming everything on Joe Biden as if he's still running against him. Now, it speaks of being able to capitalize on what we have done so far, and especially with the help of judges, that there may not be immediate payment. There's a period of waiting to receive the fertile seed of the future. But, and I highlighted this, through inconvenience, and I would say even some loss, and discomfort, growth is promoted. That's what I want to leave you with. Growth is promoted. Then in terms of the economy hurting and the media, I then got something really good. The rune of opening in the correct position. It's about renewed clarity. It's about dispelling any darkness that may be surrounding our lives. And it says we are free to receive gifts and to know the joy of non-attached giving. So this is a correction. The rune of opening makes sure that nothing left is hidden in the dark, which would be good for an impeachment. And this is called Kano. This rune is called Kano for opening. It's also the rune of morning activities, which require seriousness, clear intent, and concentration, because it's the beginning of a new endeavor to fix it. The more light we have, the better we can decide what is trivial and outmoded. And of course, that would be the president and his policies, if you want to call them policies. Next question for the runes. Will Trump, the felon, will he withdraw, capitulate on tariffs at the last minute, at the final minute? And not surprising, I got the rune of disruption, which is kind of like the tower, and it indicates change, freedom, invention. It is the great awakener, and it could be so powerful as to rip away the fabric of what we previously knew. And when disruption appears, it indicates disruption on many levels. And although there is no reverse position, it acts in reverse, like in a way to our benefit. It's a reveal. And it may act by ripping away. So my screen blew up again. I don't think there's an answer for this. I have to go to the Mac store. I lost my spot. Ripping away one's current understanding and perception of reality. And it talks about, the disruption talks about bringing people to their senses. And the more mistakes, cruel mistakes that Trump makes, it affects his followers. And so it's like bringing them to their senses. Not everyone, because, you know, people are just Velcroed to him. Some people are Velcroed to him. And part of that is that I just figured out they hate liberals, and they misunderstand liberals, but they hate us. And so painful for anybody, you know, that has been a supporter of him to like say uncle and move over. But there will be some, because they'll be so mad. And they're mad. You know, we can see this at the town halls. So during this time of disruption and regarding the tariffs, limitations and delays are often imposed, and plans may go awry. Money supplies may become emptied. That's very literal when we're talking about the tariffs. It advises us, avoid new starts. Limitations and delays are imposed with this rune, but not completely negative. Like I just said, something good comes out of it. And then finally, we blew up again. Sorry about this. It did this to me when I was writing my notes earlier. In terms of the tariffs and will he capitulate? Will he withdraw? And we got unknowable. A lot of people think he will, but I personally, and my left ear, thinks he'll push forward and there still will be damage. He won't completely reverse. So we got unknowable. Blank is the end, blank is the beginning. And it portends a symbolic death. That's good to hear, because I interpret it as death of the new tariffs. Within the blankness, there is potential. And it advises move forward into the unknowable with faith. Easier said than done, but I'm reporting this to you. There are forces that are moving unseen in the background. And this is an invitation to be with the blankness and trust. Watch him shoot himself in the foot over and over. What beckons is the creative power of the unknown. So really asking us to sit in faith and trust. And then, in terms of the tariffs, I got defense, which is avertive powers. Tells us as we are tested, which we are being tested, my friends, we fund the power to avert blockage and defeat. And even if there appears to be an obstacle in our path, it may prove beneficial. That can happen, that an obstacle or a weight may prove beneficial. Do not be overly eager to press forward. Patience. That patience is always a challenge in life, isn't it? But here's the positive out of this. This rune speaks to the difficulties that can arise at the beginning of new life. That's good news. It means new life is coming. But there's this time of waiting for the spring to fill up with water. And we need to capitalize on what we have developed so far, again, with the help of judges, halting a lot of bad stuff, but without immediate payment. this is where the patience comes in. But we're supposed to be preparing the soil to receive the fertile seed of the future. And another good one, through inconvenience and discomfort, and we certainly are experiencing it right now, growth is promoted. It's like Trump is going to help us get rid of him through his mania, dementia, and horrible choices. Here's the next rune, and it might be the last rune, I'm not sure. This is what I asked, within 6 months, will federal marshals remove the felon from the Oval Office? I couldn't help myself. So initially, because there's 3 runes, I got the strength reversed. So it says, without ears to hear or eyes to see, you may fail to take advantage of the moment. Could be an opportunity missed or a weakening of his position. Our own strength may be used against us in that they will scream and yell, the MAGAs, etc. They will scream and yell and declare it's a coup. This rune reverse serves to alert those who are deeply unconscious may experience a jolt. So this calls for serious introspection. But it does speak of a constant cycling of death and rebirth. So I'm looking at the rebirth, and it says, don't draw back from this passage. Just when in deep water, become a diver. Signals reversed, and this is about the federal marshals. Regarding the past or the present, you may be concerned over what appears to be failed communication. Like, what are they doing? What are we gonna do? And a lack of clarity. We may feel inhibited from accepting what is offered. There may be a sense of futility, but remember, and this is not me, remember that what is happening is timely to our process. So this, there's faith and there's trust involved here. If the well is clogged, and it's been clogged with the felon and diapers, it just came to me, this is the moment for cleansing out the old. Consider the uses of adversity, and that's true of some of these really great Democrats who are traveling, speaking, showing up. And then we come to breakthrough. It's a signal of a major shift or breakthrough in the process of transformation and attitude. And for some, the transition is so radical that they are no longer able to live life the ordinary way. That could be Trump. Because the timing is right, the outcome is assured, although not from the present vantage point. And I'll share what I think about that in a moment. So radical trust is called for. But remember that breakthrough is the bright warmth of the sun as it breaks through final barriers. This is good news. And it speaks of prosperity, of being able to break through that which held us back in progression. And once again, you've heard this before, it is akin to being released from a quagmire. And I love that word, quagmire. But what I was going to say is that there may be a clue in here that maybe it won't be the federal marshals. Maybe it'll be his health. Because when it says, because the timing is right, the outcome is assured, meaning his removal, although not from the present vantage point. That's what my left ear thinks, that there could be another reason he vacates the Oval Office. But it does speak to prosperity. It's good. And I think this is the last one now. I think I did 4. Will the felon be impeached in 25 or 26? So I got new beginnings, akin to the moon, the intuitive part of our nature towards harmonizing and adjusting in the sphere of personal relationships. Drawing this rune may mark a time of joyful deliverance. Joyful deliverance. I love that. And it is a rune of great power, fertility. It says, we now have the strength to achieve completion or resolution, which opens up new beginnings. It's emergence from a closed state. Tells us as we resolve and clear away the old, we are released from this closed state or rut. The old stuff was quite proper to then, but not now. And you know, what we do know, and what's coming out on Twitter a lot, in Trump's own words, is that he's admitting that Elon fixed the election for him. And they go into quite a lot of detail. That's why all your favorite readers appeared to be wrong. What we didn't take into consideration or ask, will Elon Musk interfere? And he did. But now we know it's for sure. So the joyful deliverance and the fertility is great. And then signals reversed regarding the past or the present. We may be concerned over what appears to be failed communication, a lack of clarity. We may feel inhibited on some level, and a sense of futility. But remember that what is happening is timely for us. And it just came again. He's building his own guilt by his actions and his words and reveals. So that is about what is timely in our process. This is a moment of cleansing, and consider the use of adversity. This is signals reversed. And finally, breakthrough. Breakthrough in the process of self-change. There may be some reorientation in the Democratic. There may be some new superstars, and I think they've begun to emerge. And for some, the transition is so radical that they are no longer able to live life the ordinary way, and that would be Trump being unable to live his life in the ordinary way. But once again, not from the present vantage point. That's the little mystery in it. Will he expire? Will he be impeached? Will he have the federal marshals show up? So radical trust for us is called for, but this rune breakthrough speaks to prosperity. And it speaks to breaking through that which has held the United States back from progression. Just want to go back to the original question, will he be impeached in 25-26? It didn't completely answer it, but it did answer, will something radical happen? That's what it looks like to me. And I had said the word soon last reading, and that's what's coming in again, that these unknown things are going to emerge. But it feels like we're going to get rid of him. That's, just to put plain language to it, we're going to get rid of him. So that was the last rune. And I just want to go back to my last video. What are you going to do, Pete? Don't turn your back on people. Why do you do that? So he's giving you his butt. His butt and his tail. I had left that video at the end by sharing with you that I kept hearing the word soon. Well, I heard it in my conversation with Chris, my friend, and I even saw soon in all caps and bolded. So I mentioned it to you. And that same day that I did the video, I was scrolling, came upon Lawrence O'Donnell, and it was a picture of him, and then this was the caption. I mean, it was 2 hours after I did the video. Lawrence O'Donnell predicts Trump's worst day ever is coming soon. And then one of my wonderful subscribers, who's been with me for a long time, or been with the channel a long time, wrote me and rarely writes, and went on and on about, oh my God, Carrie, this is what's been coming to me, the word soon. And she says, but I normally wouldn't write you, but I just have to tell you. And I said, well, this is great validation for you and your left ear and me. So I didn't write down her name, but she knows who she is. And I want to say thank you. That was a great message. It was really a great confirmation. Soon. This report is current, all right? Like, I just read this either today or yesterday, and this is right from Twitter. Trump was heard saying, he said this. I wish I could do an imitation of him, but I can't. I was sitting next to Elon and Dana White and noticed I was losing Pennsylvania. I thought they were cheating again. But then Elon turned to me and says, you're going to win Pennsylvania. They just don't know it yet. And 15 minutes later, we won, said Donald Trump. This is the second or third time he's admitted cheating, or his enablers were cheating. And what the F is happening? You know, who's in charge? All of, even people I don't know, when I say my colleagues, were correct. But we were shocked. And if you remember, when we all went on our YouTube channels, like the next day, I noticed, I don't know if you noticed, but everybody was kind of white. I mean, literally white, like the blood had been drained out of them, their faces, including me. And we're like, what the hell? But we were correct. We never asked, is there going to be massive cheating? I mean, I didn't, and I really didn't. I don't think I heard other people, so forgive me if I'm wrong, my colleagues. And then I found Glenn Kirshner said, because I watched him, he said, Trump won't last 4 years. I don't see it. That's what he said. Trump won't last 4 years. I don't see it. And then there was a horrible attack on Ukraine. Children were lost. And Trump issued a tweet that tells Putin to stop. And when Putin doesn't stop, the president looks weak and he looks like a fool. And that is from Glenn Kirshner. And now here's another thing that I said in the last video. I said, there's this word that a lot of people are using, and I have used, which is a phrase. This is not sustainable, meaning Trump's, it's weird. I am seeing something going. This might be an orb that I'm seeing. It's almost like a ghost that's going across in the background. It's weird, but it's a good sign. It means I've got helpers. This is not sustainable. So again, after my last video, Glenn says, this is not sustainable. So there were a lot of synchronicities with last video that made me feel really good, like supported, not crazy. And I will just tell you that from my left ear, I don't need to do runes on it. Pete Hegseth, Hog's Breath, people have all kinds of nicknames for him. He will continue to make big mistakes and be relocated. There's just no other way. He makes terrible errors. It's going to catch up with him. He's just such a loser and an embarrassment and a danger. So now we get to good evidence. And I had a little inspiration because I've been diligently tracking my good evidence. I've been doing it on the computer, even though I recommend handwriting. But sometimes that handwriting is not, efficient. So these are from my type notes. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to share some good evidence, my good evidence from one day. This is just a sample of my notes, very short. Because in talking about good evidence or teaching what it stands for, this is like a good example of how the teeniest little thing can be good evidence, because anything that this is what I say, anything that lights you up is good evidence. Or you were able to give credit to yourself for accomplishing something. All right? So now I'm going to read to you what I wrote. And there's nothing real revealing here. I started meditating like regularly about 2 weeks ago. I mean, I really picked it up and I made the commitment because I've been dealing with issues of ADHD all of a sudden at this late time in my life. And I thought, I need to meditate to kind of rein it in. So I wrote, I was able to manage my impulse to buy cherry pie and or a chocolate eclair at a really good bakery. And then I wrote, I think it's the meditation, but I was in the store. Now I'm getting a physical in 2 weeks. I know I eat too much sugar, but I saw the doctor the other day just as a premature thing. I'm really not experiencing anything wrong, but they called me and said, we haven't seen you in a long time and you could use a physical. So I'm like, okay, I'll go. When I go to the doctor, this is just interrupting my good evidence. When I go to the doctor and they weigh me, I always say, don't tell me what I weigh. I don't like to know. I don't like it to get planted in my head. And I thought about it on the way to the doctor. So nice nurse takes me in. I take off my shoes. I get on the thing. And I forgot to tell her. And she says, okay, you're good. And she tells me my weight. And I was like, what? This is the most I've ever weighed in my entire life. And it comes to about 14 pounds. I've put on 14 pounds, probably since COVID and then my accident where I didn't move around and I ate a lot and now I'm cooking. So that was like, OMG. That's why passing up the cherry pie, which I was craving a piece of cherry pie, or the eclair. So that was a big deal. And the reason I think it's the meditation is because meditation, a practice, will slow down impulses. Then I go on to, I made an audio for a client of mine. I worked on notes for this video. I took out the garbage, which I don't enjoy doing. I cooked a fluffy omelet. Found the bedroom remote to my TV because it was lost. And I put a purple scrunchie around it so I wouldn't lose it again, to make it easier to find. And I groomed Petey yesterday, which we did this morning too, and boy does he love it. And then I looked at my article on plagiarism. It's called Plagiarism, a Love Story. and I constructed it. I worked out the structure of the article. So I did all of that, and all of it made me feel good. All of it made me feel good. And I got to tell you, when I got home, I was so happy that I had not bought a dessert, because sometimes I will tell myself, and you can use this too, you know, Carrie, if you actually do this, you're going to feel good. You can try that. It's like a way of coaxing oneself. And then here is your quote, because I had gotten a call from one of my subscribers, and consider someone friendly and very friendly. And she wanted to tell me that she really liked the video, and she really liked what I said about the babes that went, you know, that think they're astronauts, because I was critical. But then this came to me, and I thought, you know what? This is a good quote. Use this. So this is my quote. Don't be like the babes in space. Be like Dolly Parton. Give the children millions of books and read to them. Dolly Parton. So that's it. And I will be back with more, and more stories. And that's kind of it. This went longer, so it may be a little longer to upload. But let me see if I can get one. Yeah, I know. Did you hear him? He just went, what are you doing? Leave me alone. We just want to, yeah. You're such a good boy, Pete. You're such a good boy. Okay, see you soon. Look for good evidence. You take care.